GPT-3 Demystified. Let's talk about everything you need to know about the AI language model. In 2018, OpenAI, an AI company co-founded by Elon Musk and others, released GPT, an AI language model that could do things like write letters and articles. After 2 years and one more iteration, OpenAI released GPT-3, the latest version of this model. GPT-3 has a simple name, but it has a wide range of skills that might make you scratch your head. GPT-3 can write essays, blog posts, short stories, tweets, poetry, press releases, business memos, and technical manuals, among other things. And it does so with better grammar than most people. It can copy the writing styles of many different authors. It can also make music and write code. It can answer questions that require a basic level of understanding and translate between languages. In May, OpenAI made GPT-3 public by putting it on the Archive preprint service as a preprint document. The developers of the company gave other developers beta access to the company the week before last. This gave them a chance to try out the idea. After that, the internet was full of text samples made by GPT-3, along with shocked and happy comments. Because of this, GPT-3 is the best language model that's been made so far. Its goal is simple: to read a lot of text and guess what the next word will be. An artificial neural network is a set of rules that was made to help machines learn from data and predict the future. This amazing thing is only possible because of this network. GPT-3's artificial neural network has nearly 100 times as many training parameters as GPT-2, which came out the year before. The network can learn and make predictions with the help of these training parameters. The lessons for GPT-3 were based on 45 terabytes of text from different places on the internet, like Wikipedia. With the help of this data, GPT-3 learned about the statistical connections between different phrases. The parameters of its neural network were then set up to take into account these dependencies. So, when given a string of words, the neural network can figure out what the next word will be. If this seems like a normal thing to do, it's probably because people don't give much thought to the incredibly complex neuronal architecture inside their own heads. In fact, by getting this ability, GPT-3 opens itself up to an infinite number of possibilities. Pre-trained models are big networks that are trained on a lot of data without any human help. GPT-3 is the latest in a long line of models that have already been trained, like Google's BERT, Facebook's Roberta, and Microsoft's Turing NLG. In the field of natural language processing, there's been a recent trend of taking models that have already been trained and making them better so that they can handle certain problems. If a model already knows how to tell a cat from a picture, it can learn to tell a dog from a picture very quickly. But a much larger number of photos will be needed to teach the model from scratch how to recognize dogs. In the same way, it's easier for developers to change GPT-3 to fit their needs than to start from scratch to make custom models. Still, the GPT models are very different from other models in one important way. Before they can be used for jobs further down the line, linguistic models like BERT need to be fine-tuned. Still, GPT can do a number of tasks right out of the box without needing to be tuned further. This is made possible by its text-in, text-out application programming interface, or API, which lets users change the model's code by following simple, plain English instructions. GPT-3 seems like it will be very helpful. Adwait Bave, the Chief Technology Officer of Pune-based artificial intelligence services company Algo Analytics, said, "It will help us solve our clients' natural language generation problems quickly, even with less data. At this point, we don't talk as much about training models as we do about how to change models to meet business challenges. You could, for example, ask GPT-3 in plain English for a website that's set up in a certain way, and it could give you the code that goes with that design." OpenAI is a nonprofit organization that Musk, Reid Hoffman, and Peter Thiel used to back. It's the group that came up with GPT-3. The group wants to make GPT-3 commercially available to developers so that they can change it for their own needs. GPT-3 can be used for any task that starts with receiving a piece of text as input and ends up with producing another piece of text as output. As an example, contracts are hard to understand because they use a lot of legal language. Monish Darda, co-founder and CTO of Icertis, a company known for its AI-infused contract management, said that organizations can use AI models like GPT-3 to simplify contracts and make them easier to understand. As a result, negotiating and executing contracts will take much less time, which will result in a significant decrease in total time and improvement in the speed of business, he said. On the other hand, jobs like customer service, billing, pre-sales, writing proposals and reports, etc. may be able to be done by intelligent automation like GPT-3 in the not-too-distant future. In light of this, it's important to cut through the hype and talk about the limits that GPT-3 puts on us. Modeling efforts like GPT-3 look for patterns in how often words are used based on statistics. On the other hand, they're not smart in their own right. They're working with words that have meanings that are completely foreign to them, so they can't figure out what they mean. Also, because they don't have this understanding, they can't think logically and make moral decisions. For example, if you ask GPT-3, "Would the cheese melt if I put it in the fridge?" it wouldn't know the answer. OpenAI decided to delay the release of GPT-2 last year because they thought it was a dangerous model because it could make high-quality fake news. Since data from the internet is used to train the models, it's likely that they'll also internalize the biases, prejudices, and hate speech that are common on the internet. When GPT-3 is used to make text, it's possible that the same biases will happen again. The people who made OpenAI also took this into account in their most recent preprint publication. But removing biases from the training data in order to build a completely fair model is a very hard, if not impossible, task. Even with these limitations, GPT-3 is an important achievement that pushes the limits of AI research and natural language processing. OpenAI has shown that when it comes to artificial intelligence, bigger is better. Even though GPT-3 uses the same architectural framework as GPT-2, it works much better. This brings us to a very important question. Can the limitations of GPT-3 be fixed by just giving it more data and more computer power? As we've already talked about, GPT-3 has 175 billion different parameters. A typical adult's brain has many trillions and trillions of synaptic synapses. OpenAI spent a whole year making GPT-3 have 175 billion more parameters than GPT-2, which had 1.5 billion. What will happen when the size of these simulations is the same as that of the human brain? In fact, the amazing performance of GPT-3 brings to the forefront an even more basic philosophical question. Is human intelligence just better than AI in terms of how it works, or does it have a numerical advantage? Is intelligence just the result of a bunch of calculations? We don't know at this point. In 2013, Geoffrey Hinton, a leading AI researcher who's often credited with making neural networks popular, said, "When you get to 1 trillion parameters, you're getting to something that has a chance of really understanding some stuff. When you have 1 trillion parameters, you have a chance of really understanding some things." GPT-3 doesn't just remember word chains so that they can repeat them later. It turns all of this information into an internal mathematical representation that can be used to answer questions. Imagine a student who reads a book from cover to cover, memorizes all the information, and then, when it's time for the test, writes her answers in her own words. We're still a long way from making AI that has general intelligence. This would mean that it could read a textbook, understand what it says, and use what it's learned in new situations and in new ways, like a human would. Still, the fact that GPT-3 is flexible and can be used in a wide range of situations is a big step toward making this scenario a reality. That was all from this video. Thanks for watching this video. Stay tuned for more.